Hello guys, how's it going? Today I'm working on 2005 Honda Odyssey minivan. We have an issue where the door sometimes, most of the time, actually sometimes it was even stopping, but it goes woo 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 woo, and I gotta fix it. So what we're doing is we're actually replacing the middle roller. There's a top, bottom, and middle, and we're replacing the middle one. So what I'm going to do to start is right here. We're going to take off this taillight. You want to check out this. It's just 2 screws. Pop off these little plastic deals. And then we need a Phillips head. Okay. Alright guys, these are just 2 Phillips heads or 10 millimeters. Little bolts here. And once you get those loose, there's actually like a pin in the front here. There is no hardware that is actually holding the front of this light on. It is just a little pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these lights so we can work on this. And these guys are just 2 little clips. All I did was press here in the middle. Pow, pow, pow. And now you got the tail light off. Alright guys, so next thing is there's going to be 2 screws holding this panel on. This one's a 10 millimeter. Just go ahead and take that out. And then the inside is a Phillips head. And you're probably going to want a long Phillips head screwdriver for that. So let me go get that. Alright guys, so the next part is this little screw way up in here. The Phillips head, it's kind of tough to get to, but with about a 10-inch total Phillips head screwdriver, you can get that. Alright guys, so to get that out without scratching the whole side of your car and be able to actually get it out, I'm going to do a little trick, which I'm going to first close the door, then I'm going to lower the window, then I'm going to open the door back up, and now it won't go back as far because the window's open. Now that gives me a little bit more room to work here with getting this off. See how that worked? And now I'm just going to slide it. I got a little bit more room. Don't scratch anything. And now I got the panel out. So the next part is going to be taking off these 2 screws here. And I'm going to get it off with a 12 millimeter ratchet wrench. Oh, I'm going to get one of them. Oh, no, I get both of them. I'm going to hold the top so it doesn't just keep spinning. I'm going to take these 2 bolts completely out. Alright guys, so I'm supporting the door because there's a lot of weight. This is the only rear mounting point for this door. So I forgot that there's a lot of weight on that until I start taking the screw off, and it was tough. So I supported that up, and now it should come out. Alright guys, so here's the loose hinge. Alright guys, so what I did is I actually kind of assisted the door forward a little bit more so that I can have this roller out. And look at that, guys. I think this was the cause of our problem. A little bit of slop in it. Whoa, the whole thing just came apart. So now what I have to do is take these 2 cables out. Alright guys, so I'm going to jam this little piece of cardboard in here so that I can work without this banging up my paint job. Alright guys, so this kind of comes to the hard part. A lot of people will take apart the entire interior panel, loosen it up, which is probably the right way of doing it, but I didn't do that the first time on that side. I was able to muscle it in. So I'm going to do the same thing on this time. So come along for the journey. Alright guys, so I'm going to take this cable and gently, because it's only, looks like nylon here, I'm going to turn this and get it right out of that lever and then pop it down. Is the goal here. And then it comes out. And the other one has no tension on it now, so this should just pop right out. There you go. So once you finish that step of getting that out, this is what it should look like. And here we are. Here's the old one, and here's the new one. Doesn't look the same. Uh-oh. Alright guys, so in that last clip I kind of got a little nervous, but as you can tell, they aren't the same, but they are. So what I'm going to do is, it actually is going to have me take apart this little C-clip here. You see that? Make sure it's focused. That little C-clip, this pin will pop out, and then I'll reassemble the mounting bracket to the new one. Alright, here I go. Alright guys, I'm just using a flathead screwdriver, just kind of get it in those little notches there, and pop it out. Make sure you don't lose it. I think I'm probably going to need a hammer for this one. Alright guys, so next I'm just going to hammer out this pin, I think. There it goes. See, it's got that little spline on there. So that's going to mean we're going to have to hammer it into the next one. And now we reassemble. So we got to make sure it's lined up and put it against something that we can hammer against. Alright, now we just need that little E-clip or C-clip or whatever they want to call it. Make sure that the pin's in good working order, and we'll just pop that right back in there. Sorry, I'm not giving you a good view. Let's pop that back in. Now your hinge is reassembled. Alright guys, so there's the new assembly. As you can tell, we had a little bit of a worn out bearing bushing, and here's the new ones. Here we go. Alright guys, so I'm going to assemble it back exactly the same way that it came apart. Let's see, this goes like this. So this is going to slide right in here, and boom. Wish it was that easy. Now look at, we have a little bit of a distance issue here. So we're going to have to work it a little bit. The last time I did this, it took a little while. Alright. Jiggy's got me on film. So what I'm going to try to do is get this lower part in first. Just get it lined up if I can. Alright guys, see it's in there now? Now is the hard part. I gotta work this around the corner. I really do not want to grab it too hard with pliers for the fact of messing up the cord. Alright, I got it around the corner. And now it's all about getting it in. Up and in. Oh no. Alright guys, we're almost there. Alright guys, I kind of got squeezed in, pushed it up with my finger to kind of line it back up. And there it is. Alright, so now, take a deep breath. Put my cardboard back in here. And now, we're ready to bolt it back in. Alright guys, so my awesome videographer here told me that I forgot that it was hanging out like this. And if you were to do that and put it back all together, it would not work right. So that's got to go in this little plastic liner so it's not trying to cut the cable. Alright guys, so now it's reassembly time. So now we got these two long bolts, the new bracket, and my bucket here to keep the weight. I'm just going to bring it back to it without it falling off, hopefully. You can let me know when we're there. Alright, we got a little bit more to go. A few more inches. A few more inches. And it doesn't want to go. Alright guys, I'm going to close it back up. Or attempt to. And now I think I'm in the right spot. Cool little trick there. Alright guys, so that little trick scared my videographer friend here. And if you don't know who he is, his name is James Koorey. He is actually an amazing young entrepreneur and blogger. So if you have kids, or if you just want to learn a little bit from him, I would go check out his site or his channel at JJ Koorey, Koorey. So now we're just going to be tightening these two bolts up. Alright guys, so what happened is that wasn't lining up very well, and I realized that the door was sagged pretty good. So I put two more pieces of plywood in there, and now our alignment is like a big stick of butter. It's amazing. Now we tighten up those two long bolts, and we'll start reassembly on everything else. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to tighten them both all the way. I'm actually going to get them both pretty close and then try to get it back in the same spot it was originally. And you can tell that by the way that the paint is, the way that it was worn. A lot of little different tricks to figure out where exactly it was originally. Alright guys, so I had to do a little wiggle to get everything lined up correctly. And I guess we'll find out once we close the door. But for some reason I'm only able to get in here with an opening wrench. But yeah, I took it apart. I think it's the spring or something is a little bit different here. So just going to tighten this up. I'd give you foot-pounds, but I have no idea how many foot-pounds. I'm just doing it tight, as my buddy Mike Staska would say. Gorilla tight. Alright, those are tight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the panel back on, covering this up. Alright guys, actually what we're going to do is test this, because I want to make sure everything closes properly, and my son actually gave me that suggestion before we put everything back together. So here we go. I'm going to test it. Hopefully this bell stops yelling at me. Alright guys, so what happened there? You heard all those beeping, crazy beeping noises going on. What happened is battery went dead. So I'm just going to hit it with the jump box, and we'll get it fired up. Alright guys, so perfect reason why we wanted to test it. The battery was dead. Our battery is kind of a little bit weak. You leave the lights on overnight, it dies. If your battery does die, it's going to ask you for a code for your radio. So that should be in your glove box in the owner's manual. That happens to us all the time. So, alright, from here guys, what I'm going to do is the same thing, where we open the window, it only goes back about 3/4. We can slide that panel back on here and bolt it up. Here we go. So I'm going to lower the window so that it stops right there, and then we can have enough room to get everything in. Alright guys, so I'm going to gingerly, because this has a panel, this has a little tab that could definitely scratch everything up. So I'm going to get in here, slide it down in here, and get it right in there. There's actually some clips, so you're going to put it in there, slide it back, and we got the 2 screws that mounts that up. Alright guys, so we're going to use that long screwdriver again, and get it right in the hole. Just a Phillips head, kind of a long one, and tighten that down nice. Alright guys, so from here we're just going to bolt this up, 10mm. Make sure that it's flush, everything's sitting nice. Means it's got the clips all in it right. And there we go. Alright guys, so pretty much the last step here is putting the taillight back in. And also check if your bulbs are out. Super easy time to check that, change the bulbs over there. So they got 2 different types of connectors. One's a 3-prong, one's a 2-prong. Make sure you put it in the right spots. And actually the 3-prong one's a little bit easier. Make sure it snaps in real good. Snaps in real good. Now what we're going to do is just going to line this up. Line up this tail light. Make sure that it pops in. Come on over here. So make sure there's no gap right here. If there's a gap, it didn't pop in all the way. But if it's nice and tight, then it popped in. Then we just have 2 screws right here, and then we'll put our covers back on, and this job will be done. And then we just got our 2 little covers. Looks like the little piece is on the top. Push down. So there's 2. There's a long one, small one. Small one goes in the top, goes in a little hole, and pushes in. And that's it, guys. All right, guys. So this was my little job. If you were to take it to a dealer or to a body shop, you will probably be looking at $300, $400, $500, $600 for that repair. As you guys see in real time with video, about 30-45 minutes. So if you watch my video, do it along step by step, you'll definitely be able to do it. Anybody with a few hand tools can make this happen. So I wanted to give a big shout out to my videographer, JJ Koorey. Check his page out, JJ Koorey. He also has a website, and also subscribe to my channel. We're going to do a lot of different cool tech like this, repairs. Also, what I'm huge into is life, leadership, family. So if you want to learn some more about that and what we're doing, dirty hands. See, my hands do get dirty, guys. Hit subscribe, and if you wouldn't mind, this is my son's favorite one. Boom! Punch that like button.